What's up, Synth Samurai, synth car, driving home from work, just brainstorming some ideas, some thoughts, I don't know, just thinking about some things. Synthesizer dojo is kind of what I'm thinking about. The ideas I'm having for it are, I don't know, man, like some kind of challenge or something where, you know, people in the community, the synthesizer community, the samurais will get together and we'll do like a weekly challenge. You know, maybe we'll do like one song a week, put out one song a week. And no matter if you think it's done or not, or you're happy with it or not, it doesn't matter. We'll put it out, and maybe I'll do like a Sunday night stream or something where I'll just pick 5 songs or whoever's involved in it, you know, whoever's coming to, I want to do it like a martial arts style thing. So maybe we'll do like a 4-week, once a week, or no, let's say that enough to get everyone an album, like an 8-week thing. So we'll do a Synth Samurai Dojo 8-week program where we'll do, you got to put one song out a week. I'll do a live stream Sunday night and we'll play the songs. Whoever gets involved, we'll post the team, you know, the synthesizer artist, the martial artist team for the week. Here's the team. If it's, you know, samurai, you know, fill in the blanks, 8 people, 9 people, we'll play those tracks. You into that? Valid Core, I think that's a good idea. What's up, Davey? Yeah, so this is kind of the idea. We'll do a synthesizer dojo. We'll do an 8-week, because that's kind of like an EP album. You guys can all set up a band camp. Everyone set up a band camp. And the whole idea is you got 1 week to make a song. You can make 5 songs if you want to, but you got 1 week to make a song. Whether you like it or not, you're gonna put it out. And we're gonna take this like martial arts training, because I'm a martial artist, and I think if we all did something like this, it'd be fun, man, and it would get us out of our comfort zone. You get that song done a week, whether you like it or not, you put it up, because the point is, even though you don't like it, man, someone else might really like it, and that's cool. So to just get us used to like putting tracks up, and before you know it, we'll do an 8-week program, 8-week training program, and then you got your first little album put out online on Bandcamp or wherever you want to put it, YouTube or, you know, Spotify, something like that. And I think that's a good idea. I think it's cool. You guys interested in something like that? Maybe you are, maybe you weren't, but I think I'm just going to do it myself. And if anyone wants to jump on board, we'll jump on board just to get this. It's almost like sparring sessions, you know? You go in, you hit the mitts, you do some drills, you get some sparring sessions in, and at the end of the week, you got a new skill. Maybe your new skill is getting over perfection, you know? That's kind of what it is. It's getting over being a perfectionist, because a lot of artists are perfectionists. And the funny thing about art is, a lot of times, if you got a painting, you might look at it and be like, man, that one little spot, I should have just kept going a little longer, and like, no one ever sees that. No one notices it. Someone might notice it, but, you know, for the most part, no one notices. Like when you cook a meal, you're making a recipe and you're like, man, I should have added a little more spice. Episode 100, man, you want the delays? Yeah, I'm doing episode 99.9-2 now. We're gonna go 3. We might even go to pie style, where we get the whole kit and caboodle on. So we'll think about that. So anyways, the idea of this is Synthesizer Dojo. Useful exercise, you know, it's no big deal, man. It just gets yourself out of your comfort zone of, I gotta have this track perfect, you know, and you got a ton of tracks built up where you're like, they're just not perfect enough. You know what, who cares if they're perfect, man? They're never gonna be perfect. So you just get used to doing like the Asian style, you know, where the Buddhists get together and they make the sand art. And as soon as they're done with the sand art, they literally just brush it to the side. And there it is, it's gone forever, you know, and these songs, just send them out to the void, set up your band camps. Then on the Synthesizer channel, I'm just live in the car, man. Oh, what state? We're in the beautiful state of New Hampshire, baby. Live free or die, that's where we are. So yeah. So what we'll do is, this is kind of the idea I'm brainstorming. We'll set up the Synthesizer Dojo, we'll get it going, I'll start a Discord, you guys can chat or whatever. Then what we'll do is, everybody got to put one song out a week. Guess what? If you don't do it, you don't do it. It's like a martial arts class. If you show up, you show up. If you don't, you don't. The people who show up you know, at the end of their 8 weeks, everyone who showed up will be a little higher level than people who didn't show up. But, you know, there's no pressure, there's no nothing. You just come if you want to, you show up, you put your tracks in, you email me your track link via YouTube. Everyone can set up a YouTube channel. If you don't want to set up a YouTube channel, set up a Bandcamp, Spotify, whatever you want, and you're going to put up 1 track a week, and at the end of 8 weeks, you're going to have an album. What's up from Connecticut, man? My wife's from Western Mass, Westfield, so I know Connecticut well. I've been to Connecticut tons of times. I love Connecticut. It's cool, but it's expensive. But yeah, so Synthesizer Dojo, we'll get in there, do some rounds. We'll set up probably the live stream once a week. Anybody who wants to showcase the tracks, we'll play them off Bandcamp or whatever venue you want to put it up. And then in that way, we got this little network going where we're all kind of involved and listen to each other's stuff, you know? I think it's cool. If you think it's cool, it's cool. Do it, man. Play at your cousin's, what is it, EMOM? What's an EMOM? I've never played a Mini Moog Model D, man. I've talked to a bunch of people who have, and I don't know if they're saying it's a magical experience for any reason or not, but they're always like, oh, it's magical. You know, there's something about playing it that just blows your mind. And to be honest, I can't hate on them for it because I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it is magical. To be honest, every time I touch any piece of musical equipment, it is magical. Yeah, people say it's magical, man. They do. They say it's hard to describe. They say it's hard to describe. And I guess I just don't know what that means. Hard to describe. I guess it's like there's some type of connection. I guess maybe a whole lot of love went into that synthesizer. You know, so when a whole lot of love goes into something, it's hard to describe, like a good meal or a fine piece of art or, you know, real nice wood carving or piece of pottery. It's hard to describe how it makes you feel, but I think it's got to do with something with the love that went into it. And for some reason, I think a lot of love went into the Mini Moog Model D over time, and then it just got built on like grandma's brownie recipe, you know, where it's just like, you know, the recipe gets passed down from generation to generation, and it's just amazing. I heard the Poly 6 is like that. It's into corrosion. Yeah, it's one of those things, man. I watched a video Kibu did, and he was talking about his Poly 6, was it? Or Mono Poly, one or the other, and he was just like, man, I got this old one, and I've tried the new one. I've bought a couple, but he's like, this old one just has some type of degraded character that it just makes it its own unique thing. And I guess that's kind of a cool thing about analog, is that over time, the imperfections and the problems you get with it end up creating its own super unique sound, where I guess like if you added that to something. The problem is these days is that a lot of the analog stuff, everyone's got to put it through a digital mixer or digitize it anyway. So unless you're going analog and then somehow putting it on tape and burning it onto vinyl or something, I don't know if anything's really analog anymore. It's kind of weird. It's a weird time we are in at the moment, you know? It's a very strange time. But it's fun time, it's a cool time. There's never been a time like it, and I'm new to the synthesizer world to an extent, so, you know, I'm just absolutely... People always are like, why are you so excited? Some dude today was like, why are you so excited about Moog moving their headquarters? Why is this so... Why do you consider the headquarters iconic? And I was like, just excited about it, man. It's exciting news. I find it is sensational to me. The rise of Moog, the fall of Moog, the destruction of the brand in a way, how it went very into some weird kind of, whatever happened to Moog. Let me tell you what happened to Moog from the best of my knowledge without getting the channel kiboshed. From what I heard from Moog, there was a department called marketing, and that department of marketing was under the auspice of a certain person, and you can go look it up. And that certain person had a bigger agenda than music, and a bigger agenda than making good products, a bigger agenda than just making the highest quality, best products for the customer and the fan. All right, so that was the general gist of it. Now, under that thing, there was an agenda that I don't know if there was an agenda where there was funds being allocated to certain projects and being moved away from the actual instruments, and these funds were being put into projects that were, you know, let's be honest, had nothing to do with music and had more to do with this person's mission, let's just call it. And you guys can smell what I'm cooking. I think you guys are all smart enough and high IQ enough to know exactly what I'm talking about. But she had a mission, and her mission was to advance an agenda, and she piggybacked Moog and took over Moog, from what I heard from people on the inside, and that was one of the big things that led to a lot of Moog's problems, you know. And think about it what you will, but all you got to do is go in to look. Put it this way: go do a search for Moog's head of marketing and creative control. Look at what happened to Moog Fest. Just venture into their synthesizer names, and you can get an idea where probably a lot of the mission of Moog went away from the instrument, right? So that's why I kind of think it's good that In Music has bought Moog, because I'm hoping that they move back towards the instrument and away from all the nonsense, right? And guess what? If you're into the nonsense, good for you. That's cool. I don't care what you're into. You can be into whatever you want. It's an emergency broadcast, baby, always. And listen, we're heading through some rural territory, so you got to be careful. We might lose the signal and jump back in, but, you know, if you don't mind letting it chop up for a minute, then stay tuned, stay involved, and that's it. But yeah, anyways, we got the Synth Dojo idea. If you don't know what that is, rewind it, and I'll do it again in a more succinct. I'm just brainstorming here. But Moog moving their headquarters is interesting. It's interesting that they're moving to the second floor of a building down the street above a vinyl cafe. I can't remember the name of it, but apparently it's some popular vinyl cafe that's, you know, popular with musicians and all that kind of stuff. And they're moving into there, the second floor, and they're also moving one of their manufacturing or assembling facilities to somewhere else. So, according to the CEO, they got big plans. They're going to hire a ton of people, but they said they're going to hire a ton of people while also firing a ton of people, and they use the dystopian word of rationing. They rationing people, or whatever they said, rationized. However they said it is dark. Signal might come back, might not. We back, baby. We lost the signal. We're getting tapped in. We back, baby. You guys still there? We back. All right. Sometimes you lose the signal. Sometimes you don't. So what happens. I might have to get a big, huge antenna put on top of the synth car to get her going. But anyways, we might lose a couple people, but no big deal. Anyway, so they're moving to the second floor of a building, and they are going to, apparently they got big plans. I don't know what the big plans are, but we're still waiting on the Moog mirror. I was checking some forums the other day because there's like a 36-page forum on Gear Space about the Moog mirror. Yeah, I should buy your ham radio truck, Richie, is what I should do. Yeah, man, just go read that article on Music Radar, Davey. It says, I think that the title of the article is like, Moog shutting down iconic factory or iconic headquarters, and they're rationing off a bunch of people, however they use that word, and they're going to be hiring a bunch of people, but they're saying that they have a bunch of redundancies by absorbing more. Maybe that building will be the morgue now. They're going to absorb a bunch of people from In Music, and they just have redundancies. So I guess they ration people off. I don't know if they gave them severance packages. Listen, how about this? I don't have LinkedIn or any of these programs, no social media. The only social media I have is the YouTube site. So if any of you guys know anybody who works for Moog, who have worked for Moog, who got rationed, if you guys want to get in touch with anybody on LinkedIn that you know of who worked for Moog, tell them to come on the show. We'll sit down. We'll do an interview, man. I'd love to hear what their experience there was like. I'd love to hear if all the bull is nonsense or if it's all true. Hear how they got rationed. They can come on and vent, man. They can tell their story, do whatever they want. We'll do it live, unedited as usual. And I think that'd be cool. Maybe people like to see it. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But I'm going to take, I don't know, man. I guess the building's going to go up for sale unless the Moog Foundation's going to buy it and do something with it. But from everything I'm hearing, the Moog Foundation didn't own it. InMusic owned it, and it's a huge corporation. And what corporations do is they liquidate their assets to become more liquid and get money. So I'm assuming they're just going to sell off the building and it'll turn into a brewery or something, is what they'll do. My idea, I think Uli should buy it. Uli Behringer should buy it, put a huge Behringer thing on it, and open up a Behringer museum, or open up some type of tribute to Synthesizer Hall of Fame. Because rumors are that InMusic is going to buy, or sorry, Music Tribe is going to buy InMusic at some point. And apparently it's already in the works. Uli already talked to Moog. Moog went to Uli and said, hey, apparently, this is rumors, but Moog went to Uli and asked him if he wanted to buy Moog. And Uli said, I don't want to buy Moog because your guys' numbers are in the dumps. It's in the dumper, you know? So no, I don't want to buy it because I know that you're going to go to InMusic and we're going to buy InMusic eventually, and Behringer is going to buy InMusic, and Behringer will end up owning Moog in the end, and Uli will have the ultimate victory, as he always wished. The battle-born Behringer and Lord Uli will exact revenge on the Moogians. That's apparently what's going to happen. So you heard it here first. I've heard it from other people, so it's not my idea. I like both companies. I'm rooting for Moog. I'm hoping Moog comes out with the Moog Mirror for $2,500, 8-voice, polyphonic, poly aftertouch, fully loaded, jacked with effects, presets, huge patch bank, packed to the gills, full of lights. I hope it has it all, and then I hope they do awesome, man. And I hope they come out with the Moog Labyrinth, the semi-modular, DFAM, Subharmonicon, and Mother 32 all in one, which is coming to the Labyrinth full of patch bays. That's the rumor. Maybe it won't be, but maybe the Labyrinth is going to be their new Moog system. You know, the old, what is it, System 500 or something. But yeah, that's cool. So that's basically it, man. So just to recap the show for anyone joining late, I got an idea for the Synth Dojo, which is going to be a martial arts style synthesizer, 8-week, 10-week, 12-week program. I'm thinking 8, where we'll all get together. We'll all make Bandcamp accounts. Everybody has to make one song a week, and guess what? If you don't, you don't. You're lost. Everyone makes one song a week to beat the idea of being perfect and not letting perfect get in the way of the good or the better or whatever expression it is. And we're gonna do a martial arts style training program, 1 song a week. At the end of 8 weeks, we'll all have a 8-track album that we did together, and maybe we'll do one huge giant album. We'll all put the songs we'll share together and make one huge discography for everybody to share on each of our band camps. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do, or that's what I'll try and do. And then every week on the live stream, we'll play each other's songs and see what we think. You know, I think that's cool. So if you guys are into it, let me know in the comments. I'll gear it up, and I'll head it up, I'll lead it, and we'll get it going. Sounds like a plan, Georgie. So I got to go now. I got to get home, eat some dinner, man. I'm just getting to the salt mine, and I got to get home, get some stuff done. Maybe I'll jump on and make a show if there's any breaking news or anything. If not, you guys have a wonderful evening. That's that synth car, baby. Sloo, sloo.